Morning, Gracie.
I don't believe it.
Believe what?
Jasper was right. You're more gullible than I imagined.
Where is Jasper?
Did he really promise to buy you breakfast?
Hey, Tom, you're just in time.
Hi, Jasper.
Gracie didn't think you'd come.
Wouldn't want to miss a free breakfast, would I?
You haven't eaten breakfast yet?
Jasper, didn't you say you'd buy me breakfast if I came over to the cafe first thing this morning?
Boy, there's nothing wrong with Tom's memory, is there, Gracie?
It's his brain that doesn't work.
So, what about breakfast?
Oh, I just said that to get you down here.
Jasper.
Yes?
Jasper.
Yes?
Jasper, you know, some people would call that lying.
Not Jasper.
When you hear our good news, you'll forget all about breakfast.
You're going to need a big cup of coffee.
Me too.
Now, look, about this breakfast thing.
That'll be $4.
$4?
$2 a cup. 2 cups.
Thanks, Tom.
Coffee's 75 cents a cup.
Not anymore.
Quick, Gracie. Show Tom the brochures.
Trailers?
Which one do you like?
Personally, I like the one with the striped awning.
Jasper?
Yes?
Jasper?
Yes?
Jasper, why am I looking at a brochure on trailers?
CBC renewed our contract.
The Dead Dog Cafe Comedy Hour?
That's right, Tom.
You mean we have to keep doing the show?
I told you he'd be excited.
He looks sick.
We're big stars, Tom.
CBC really renewed the Dead Dog Cafe Comedy Hour?
And all the big stars have their own trailer.
I like the cream-colored one with the chocolate skirting, too.
CBC is going to buy me a trailer?
Not you, Tom. Just Gracie and me.
Jasper?
You're not as big a star, Tom.
Jasper?
But they said they'd look into a good used aluminum topper for your pickup.
More coffee?
Please.
That'll be $8.
Gracie, that was a refill. Refills are free.
Not anymore.
The Dead Dog Cafe is famous now, Tom. You can charge 75 cents for a cup of coffee and then give away free refills at a famous cafe.
Jasper, why in the world would CBC renew our contract?
They realized what a huge mistake they had made. It's all here, in black and white.
CBC Radio gets $10 million from Heritage Minister. Jasper, this isn't a renewal letter for the Dead Dog Cafe Comedy Hour. It's just a news story.
And people say you're slow.
Who says I'm slow?
$10 million, Tom. That's a lot of money.
Jasper, it's an election year. The government always does stuff like this in an election year.
Boy, I guess we were lucky.
Lucky?
To have gotten canceled in an election year.
Rita McNeil got canceled.
Boy, another lucky show. Hey, you hear that?
I hear it.
You want to pay me for the coffee now? Or are you thinking about running a tap?
You remember how to start the show?
Look, I'm not paying $2 for every cup of coffee I drink.
Don't forget Jasper.
Take it away, Tom.
From Blossom, Alberta, it's the Dead Dog Cafe Comedy Hour with your host, Jasper Friendly Bear.
And Gracie Heavy Hand.
Pay up or you don't get introduced.
So, Tom, who are our guests?
Jasper, we can't keep doing this.
What?
Look, if you want me to introduce our guests, you're going to have to tell me who our guests are before the show starts. Does that sound fair?
Sounds fair to me. What about you, Gracie?
I'm not saying a word until someone pays me for that coffee.
I guess that means you, Tom.
Me? Jasper, you promised to buy me breakfast. The least you can do is to buy me coffee.
Tom, big stars don't buy their own coffee.
Your money is as good as mine.
Big stars don't carry money either. Besides, I can't afford these prices.
All right. But this is absolutely the last time. Okay, Gracie, who are our guests?
Don't have any.
No guests?
Not a one.
But we always have guests.
Not since Jasper began charging.
Charging? For what?
To be on the show, Tom.
We're charging guests to be on our show?
Ever since we became famous, Tom, everybody wants to be on our show. If we didn't charge, we'd be flooded with requests from people who think they're good enough to be on our show.
Jasper.
We can't have just anybody on the show.
We thought about charging a flat fee.
But that wouldn't be fair.
That's right. If we charged a flat fee, Some of the up-and-coming artists might not be able to afford it.
Jasper.
So I worked up a sliding scale based on how famous a person is.
Jasper, this is nuts. Nobody's going to pay to be on our show.
I told Jasper no one was going to pay $2 for a cup of coffee, and look how wrong I was.
So, Tom, how much do you think we should charge Graham Greene?
Don't we have a reserved recipe or something to do?
That's right, Tom. Boy, with all this exciting talk about guests and money, you almost forgot about the show. Okay, Tom. What do we have to start with?
Sounds like blackout bingo to me.
You're right, Tom. It's time for Friendly Bear's Blackout Bingo, where listeners make up their own cards and listen to our show for the winning numbers.
And when your card is blacked out, send it to us at the Dead Dog Cafe Comedy Hour, Box 555, Edmonton, Alberta, T5J 2P4.
And we'll send you a nifty prize.
Now, the last time we did this, you kept calling
B8.
the same number over and over again.
Hey, Gracie, since this is the first show of our new season, why don't we start it off right by giving away a couple of authentic Indian names?
Which one you want to do?
Wait a minute. Is that mail? Are those letters?
You mean letters Gracie didn't write?
Here's one. Dear Jasper, Gracie, and Tom, Dancy, I really like your Aboriginal Comedy Hour. I would please very much like a real Indian name. However, before you spin the wheel, I must ask Tonto, do I need to do anything special before the naming? Like fasting or giving up chocolate? Thank you very much. While I wait for my name, I'll try to stay calm, be brave, and wait for the signs. Your faithful fan, Julie White Woman.
This is a real letter.
You bet.
Well, look, it's in an envelope, and it has a stamp.
So, what do you think, Tom? Fasting or giving up chocolate?
Ask yourself, what would an urban Indian do?
Now, fasting is a little too much like dieting, and everyone knows that that's bad for you.
And giving up chocolates is a serious business.
Wait a minute. We didn't ask Jane Fonda to do anything when we gave her authentic Indian name.
That was just practice, Tom. This is real.
You got any good ideas, or are you just going to stand there and whine?
Well, this is crazy. Okay. How about this? Everyone who wants an authentic Indian name has to tell us a story about their most interesting encounter with an Indian.
Yo, what the... You know what, Tom?
That's not a half-bad idea.
It was a joke.
We could read the stories on the show.
And anthologize the best ones in the book.
And sell it along with the rest of the Dead Dog Cafe Comedy Hour merchandise.
Jasper?
Yes?
Jasper?
Yes?
Jasper, the rest of what merchandise?
T-shirts, Tom.
Which wheel do you want to spin?
I'll take the first one.
T-shirts?
Don't just stand there, Tom. Spin a wheel.
All right, let's see what we have.
Let's see. The first name is Julie.
The second name is White.
What's the third name, Tom?
It's a woman.
Julie White Woman.
That's a good, strong name.
Jasper, that's the same name she already has.
No, it's not.
Sure it is. Look. The letter is from Julie White Woman, and we've just given her the same name, Julie White Woman.
How's your Cree, Tom?
Well, not very good.
Neither's your English.
Look at this, Tom. In the postcard she sent us, Julie White Woman spells her name with a Y. W-H-Y-T-E.
And white woman is a compound word.
Whereas the authentic Indian name we just gave her is spelled with an I. W-H-I-T-E.
And it's two words. White and woman.
Well, hey, wait a minute. You don't suppose she's native?
Who?
Well, Julie White Woman.
I don't think a native woman would spell white with a Y.
An urban Indian might. Which reminds me, Tom, just how do you spell your name?
Well, what do you mean?
Do you spell king with an I? K-I-N-G?
Or do you spell it with a Y? K-Y-N-G.
I spell it with an I.
Tigag mas na, huh? Yeah. Great. Okay. Let's give away another Indian name.
Here's some email.
Email?
Sure, Tom. All the famous shows have email.
My sweetie is having a birthday soon, and I thought an unusual and personal gift would be to give him a genuine Indian name. Could you ask Jasper if he could spin a wheel for Jerry? Eagerly awaiting Jasper's reply, I remain Trish White in Vancouver.
Trish White? Hey, you think she's related to Julie White woman?
Maybe it's her half-sister.
You think so?
Let's just spin the wheels.
Okay. The first name is Fudge.
Second name is, Lounging.
And the last name is... Turtle!
Fudge Lounging Turtle. That's a sweet name.
Okay, Trish. But before Jerry can officially use that name, you have to write and tell us about your most interesting encounter with an Indian. Hey, Tom, you hear that music?
Yeah, I know. It's time for Ask Tonto, that part of our show where we answer questions from our listeners about Canadian culture.
Wrong answer, Tom.
Okay, then it's King's traditional Aboriginal decorating tips.
Wrong again. No, Tom. It's time for the Dead Dog Cafe Road Blockade Report.
So what?
It was Gracie's idea.
It's like those public service announcements you hear on radio all the time.
The Road Blockade Report?
Sure. Every year there are bands all over Canada who blockade roads on their reserves.
It's a traditional form of protest.
Let's say the government isn't honoring one of the treaties, and no matter how long or how nice we talk to them, they won't listen.
Until finally, we're forced to put up a blockade.
So we're going to tell everyone where the blockades are.
That's right, Tom. People can send in their road blockade plans to us at the Dead Dog Cafe, CBC Radio, Box 555, Edmonton, Alberta, T5J2P4, and we'll broadcast the information. This will allow tourists and truckers and moms taking their kids to hockey practice to avoid the blockaded roads and save themselves time, trouble, and irritation.
But doesn't that defeat the whole purpose of a road blockade?
Nope. The minute we announce a road blockade, television crews from all over Canada will head out to see what is happening.
And announcing it on CBC will allow Native people all over the country to stay in touch with what's up on the protest front.
Let's say you're a modern Native family from the Curve Lake Reserve in Ontario and you're planning a family vacation.
You've already been to Disney World in Florida?
And you've seen the CN Tower in Toronto and have gone on the tour of the Sky Dome.
You want to go to the Badlands in Alberta and check out the rocks and the dinosaurs.
But your partner wants to go to the Turks and Caicos Islands and lie in the sun.
And the kids want to go to a really big video arcade.
What a dilemma.
Then you hear the Dead Dog Cafe's road blockade report.
And?
Ecotourism, Tom. Habitat for Humanity. Greenpeace. CUSO.
Canadian university students overseas?
Remember when the Exxon Valdez ran aground off the coast of Alaska?
Sure.
Do you know how many families changed their plans and spent their vacation cleaning oil off seabirds?
No, I can't say I do.
Me neither. But I'll bet there were quite a few.
Let me get this straight. You think that Native families across Canada are going to listen to the road blockade report and then plan their vacations around visiting the blockades?
Not just natives, Tom.
All those non-natives who want to be Indians are bound to show up.
And think about the tourist potential.
And the great photo opportunities.
Police brutality captured on video by German tourists.
Some of them might even stay and help.
Jasper, why would anybody want to spend their vacation on a road blockade?
Beats going to the West Edmonton Mall.
I like the West Edmonton Mall.
Uh-oh, that sounds like the end of the show.
Good. I'm starving.
Next time, our guests will be Graham Greene, Tina Keeper, Cantu Cardinal, and, of course, Louis Riel.
And don't forget, stay calm.
Be brave.
Wait for the signs. Boy, we haven't lost our touch. Come on, Gracie, let's have another look at those trailers.
Before you do that, what about breakfast?
Gracie has a special on sausage and eggs.
That sounds good.
$18.95.
$18.95 for sausage and eggs?
Toast is extra.
Jasper.
I think I'll go for the aquamarine 48 footer with the red pinstriping.
Jasper.
What about you, Gracie? It'll match your POW outfit.
Jasper.